Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 13th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started shortly. Just give me a few moments to finish setting this up, and then we can get started in a few moments. So let's see. As you guys can see from the chart, markets moved pretty heavily over the news this morning. So we're going to have to wait for some sort of stabilization before we can take, obviously new trades today. So let's go over here and finish setting this up right here. That's good. So, all right, so everything looks good right here. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, cool. We'll get a few minutes for people to make their way in. All right, so as people make their way in, I'm gonna go ahead and never mind. I was gonna go ahead and mark up the zones over here, but obviously there's no zones for me to mark up. So there's we'll have to sit back for a bit. So good morning, everybody. Morning, Casey. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Peter. Morning, Marco. Yeah, as you know, as I was saying earlier, guys, there's this huge spike right here that happened during news at 5:30, and the zones are way up here, so it's pretty irrelevant. There's no reason for me to really draw zones up here because I don't really expect price to correct back up that high. Let's see how far this push. Yeah, no, it's like 7,000 pips, so I don't expect this to move back up at all. So I'm probably gonna wait for it to just create new zones down here. Yeah, man, it's a huge drop. So I'll leave that alone. I'm gonna go and check news real quick though, and I'll mark that stuff up. So as I told you guys, volatility is gonna be high today, right? Because inflation news came out. So let me change this right here. Specific. Yeah, so the inflation news came out right here, obviously at 5:30 a.m. There was news at 2:55 and then 5:30. And there's tentative IBD IPP economic optimism. So basically 2:55 and 5:30, that's about it. I'm going to mark that up real quick. 2:55. I mean, this is a bigger spike than I ever anticipated. I didn't think it was going to spike down this much. So this might be a bigger indicator of the recession, right? People keep saying we're not in a recession, we're not going to a recession, but I'm pretty sure we're going into a recession. You see these big spikes right here. Something's going on, obviously. We'll see. So this is US news, or 2:55 a.m. US news. Let me see what it was. It was neutral. Okay. But this is a big one right here at 5:30. This one right here was obviously Actually, it was positive news, but it did the opposite. So, I mean, it wasn't really positive. So it was last month, it was 0%. They were forecasting to be negative 0.1, but it was just 1%, 0.1% up. Core CPI was actually higher. It was 0.3% last month. They were expecting it to be the same. It just went up like 0.03%, but it's not very high. It's like barely anything. So I'm just going to put this as positive. So this is going to be 5:30 a.m. US news, positive, but it doesn't really make a difference overall. I mean, it's still pretty low. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes when the market opens. But yeah, just as I mentioned earlier, guys, there's no point in me drawing the zones up here because I mean, price is way down here. It's down about 8,000 pips. So I don't expect it to push all the way back up anytime soon. So when new zones create down here, that'll be fine. That's where we'll draw our zones. But at the moment, there's just no reason for us to draw any of that. We'll just have to wait and see where price goes from here, because there's going to be a lot of areas of rejection if price does push up. It has these sessions right here, some more sessions, some more red flags up here, and etc. So we'll keep an eye out, but I don't expect it to really push all the way up there anytime soon. That's way too high. Nice. Casey said I passed my second stage of TFF as well. My second live account. Great, Casey. That's awesome, man. So Casey over here, 2 funded accounts now. Congrats. Not bad, man. Everything's falling in place. So that's really how it is with a lot of guys. Like, you know, people typically give up too early. If you don't give up and you keep pushing, eventually things are going to start to make sense. Like the same with Maddie. You know, Maddie messaged me. Maddie's not even here yet. Maddie messaged me last weekend. He was just like, hey, Sean, I'm starting to like understand your analysis completely. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It just takes time and practice and you'll start to really understand things. So great work, Casey. And I'm glad to see that you're staying consistent. Patricia's asking you, Casey, she said, good job. TFF is good, right? Yeah, so it seems good. I mean, I might start a new account. We'll just have to check. Or I'll probably try them out at some point, maybe next week. So let me see who else is here. Morning, Saren. Morning, Peter. Yeah, I know Peter showed Goldman Sachs to kick off Wall Street layoff season with hundreds of job cuts this month. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. Morning, Maria. Morning, iPhone. Morning, David. Morning, Rick. Rick said we're building back better. Morning, Sisuk. Yeah, iPhone said here early today. It's a holiday, so he's home bagging all the trades I've missed it for. No, definitely. Sisuk said economics know we're in a recession. I agree. Morning, Vince. Yeah, Jalon said BTC Bitcoin dropped 1,500 points on that drop as well. Yeah. So it looks like a lot of things here actually drop, and we'll see where it goes from there. But anyways, there's nothing for us to take right now, guys. Market's gonna open in about 30 seconds, but it wouldn't really matter because we're not looking to take the breakouts just yet. Price is still in a range. You can see here, if you look farther back, you can see price is still ranging. It's still ranging and consolidating. It's not really moving directional yet. This is just a news drop, and then it's going back into consolidation. So no breakout for us just yet until the market starts moving directional for the fall. We're still looking for K2SR rejections, but we're not going to have any anytime soon until these zones over here come down lower. So yeah, Fahad said, damn, core CPI is a new NFP. Yeah, no, all the inflation news is going to be very heavy because we are going to a recession, whether we like it or not. So every time inflation news comes out, it's just going to be an instant, dump. This is inflation week. So we had CPI news today. Tomorrow, we still have some more. We have PPI and core PPI. So we got inflation news literally every day this week. Let's see, professor said, Sean, the news was considered negative because despite the drop in gas prices, inflation was higher than expected. It may prompt the Fed to be more aggressive in raising interest rates to help cool inflation. Interest rates increases the impact of the bottom line of Wall Street. Yeah, no, and I agree, professor. That's what I've been telling everybody. we're going to a recession, whether people like want to believe it or not. Even if people are like, even if these news outlets are telling me that we're not, I hate to say, but we are. You know, a lot of layoffs have started. They're continuing. You know, even Goldman Sachs is laying people off. So we'll just see where it goes. But I mean, overall, we're not going to let that affect us. Whether price goes up, we'll take buys. If price goes down, we'll take sells. We're trading short term, so it doesn't really matter to us what the economy is doing. You know, your main goal right now, guys, and this should be your main goal always, is not necessarily to save money. It's to learn how to make more money, right? Because your lifestyle is not going to change. You just, you know, if you're going to spend more, you got to make more money. It's not about saving more money. It's about making more money. So get better at trading, lock in more profits, stack your accounts, and it should be no problem. Let's see. Yeah, Casey said, thank you guys, much appreciated. So far, so good. I can't really complain. I have a 50 FTMO 50K account too. So I wanted to test TFF after. Yeah, no, definitely, Casey. Morning, Goldie. iPhone said never get this balance, especially the increase in interest rates will calm the whole situation. Yeah, exactly. And I agree too. C6 said it's well known that everyone is practicing economics recession. Yeah, C6 basically saying that you know, recessions happen every 8 years on average. We haven't had a real one since 2008, so it's going to happen eventually. Mace said there's a K2 SR level at 31,595 for the 1 hour chart. Yeah, I could see that. Let me change it real quick. So my chart here. Yeah, so there's an SR zone right there where Mace referred to. Yeah, so it's building up right here on the one. You can see here, there was one that just showed up right here. I don't know if you guys saw it. It like popped up and then it disappeared. There's one that's going to produce here eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time. The zones will just catch up. The 1 minute here is going to be most accurate. It's just that they can only have so many zones on the chart at once. So once these over here disappear, a new one over here will create. And it's just about being patient because I know it comes up a little later, but it is going to be a lot more accurate. Yeah, I just saw that one right there, Maddie. There was like a green one that came up here a few seconds ago. See how big these candles are. Not too big, about 400 pips. All right, anyways, let's take a look at the overall bias. So let's refresh this right here. Looking at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 51% long. So this indicates that 51% of retail traders are currently buying right now. This doesn't make a really big impact on us because it's pretty neutral. In order for it to have an impact on our decision making, it needs to be above 60%. So right now, this is pretty much neutral. Looking over at the fundamentals right now, fundamentals are down 529 points. So with that said, we'll probably be looking for, I don't know, maybe sells, but we have a neutral to bearish bias right now. It's neutral because the retail sentiment here is neutral, but the fundamentals here are bearish. So with that said, this is neutral to bearish. Looking over here at the heat map is pretty much all red right now. It should be. It is all red. It's a sea of red right here. There's no green stocks. Looking over here at the actual stock index, literally everything here is red. There's no green stocks at all. So we'll probably be looking for some sells today. But we're going to have to wait, obviously, right, guys? We're not going to hop into trades right away. You got to be patient and wait for those entries to appear. Looking over here on CNBC, it reports that stocks fall sharply as a hot inflation report points to a more aggressive Fed. NASDAQ slides nearly 3%. So with that said, this is going to cause a lot of people to bandwagon onto those sells, right? This is why you want to be very careful about taking sells here, because CNBC already reported that stocks are dropping. Typically, when they report something, they'll do that so that more retail traders will hop into those sells with them, and then eventually they'll just spike price right back up. So just keep that in mind. I don't think price will correct all the way up here, but I think it will temporarily push to the upside. So just be careful when you guys take any trades here. I probably wouldn't chase anything. I'll look for like maybe 1 or 2 K2 SRs to just confirm. the entries. And then once we have that, then maybe I'll start looking for some actual entries to take, because you're going to see a lot of manipulation around this area, especially with the news that just came out right here. Let me go and refresh this to see if there's anything else new. So yeah, looking over here, all of the indices are pretty much very red. The Dow is down 600 points, S&P is down nearly 100 points, Nasdaq is down 368 points. So the entire market is red today. But yeah, as I mentioned, guys, I think the market will continue dropping, but I don't think it's going to be an easy drop. I think price will just drop a little bit, fake out, swing back up to stop people out, go back into consolidation, and then end up coming right back down. So just keep that in mind, and just keep an open mind when you guys are taking trades, because you guys don't want to just hop into stuff for whatever reason. Rick said, hope we get some trades in before they hit the circuit breakers. LOL. I know, right, Rick? Yeah, if the price starts dumping heavier, they're gonna hit the circuit breakers, because it's dropped like quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know what they're set at, the circuit breakers. Typically they're set at like 15,000. I don't know what happened during COVID, but I remember, well, I do know what happened, but I don't remember. So if you guys don't know what circuit breakers are, if the market drops too much, they just freeze the market completely. So it's already dropped about 9,000 pips, typically around like 10,000 or 15,000. This is where they cut off the market, and they just freeze it for like a couple minutes so that people will stop selling. So yeah, circuit breakers might be knocked out, kicked on around this. I think for sure if price drops this low, they're going to freeze the market. They do that to prevent the market from crashing. So it'll probably drop around this area, and you want to be careful, because if you're taking a sell and the circuit breakers get kicked off, once the market freezes, a bunch of people start buying the dip. So you're going to see a huge spike right back up. So circuit breakers right here at this point, or this point right here. I mean, there might be some short-term circuit breakers right here. It might just freeze for a few minutes at this point. But I think if it drops this low, it's for sure going to just freeze for like maybe 10 minutes or so. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are new to trading, you guys are not familiar with circuit breakers, basically the government just shuts down the market. They freeze it completely so that people will not continue to sell. It happened like during AMC, it happened during like COVID, it happened during a lot of times in the past couple of years. So if you guys have been trading with us, you guys are familiar with that. We made a ton of money with the circuit breakers because COVID happened, price dumped. You could literally take a sell and not even think, and you would make money, because as soon as the market reopened, it just kept dumping even further. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, David also mentioned Trap Tuesday. So just something to pay attention to. The 3-minute daily came up right here. Yeah, Pat mentioned, I'm not taking the trade here. I'll mark it up so that we can follow it, but I'm not going to take it. It's obviously moving a little all over the place right now. So I'm not in this position, guys. I'm just following it. You guys can see how much it has to retrace there. And it's just too overextended, in my opinion. Let's see, price came down, retraced, came down further, consolidated. So on the 1 minute, it actually doesn't look that bad. It's only down about 1,800 pips. Actually, it's a little overextended. It doesn't look big because we're comparing it to this big drop over here. But realistically, this has dropped about 2,000 pips with no retracement. So I'm not taking the 3-minute here. We'll take a look at it, but it's too risky of a move. Yeah, Rick said this pullback. So it looks like price is creating a range. I'm going to go here on the clean chart. I'm just going to mark up the areas of liquidity so that you guys can see market structure better. Just these high lows. We got one right there, one right there, one right there. So as you guys can see right here, price is pretty much ranging around this area. So here's the range right now. You guys can see it better here on the clean chart. You have a zone here that is now pending, or looks like it's established now. Let me mark up opening price as well. All right. So price is literally at opening price right now. So I want to chill out for a bit. All right, this is fine. Now that we have a zone down here, this is fine because if price comes back below here. So this is kind of what I'm looking for from my perspective. So if I'm looking here to take a sell, I'm looking for price to close below this point. Come back for the retest with rejection off the structure. And then continuation below. So, and there's another zone creating right there. So this is what I was talking about, guys. You guys just have to be patient. The zones are going to come up. It's just a matter of time until they come up down here. These up here are irrelevant. There's no point in me drawing those because I don't expect price to come back. But there's now two zones down here. So just a matter of patience. If price ends up reversing up, that's completely fine. We can look for trades up there as well. Right now, we're looking down here. Thanks, Peter. So Peter said there's news coming up over here on my FX book. There's nothing on Forex Factory, but my FX book. Let's see. It's Euro news. So we have news at 17 minutes for IBET at 7 o'clock. So I'll mark that up right here. All right, good to know. Thanks, Peter. I didn't bother to look at my FX book today. All right, so this is where price is moving around right now. See where it goes from here. All right, price breaks and closes below the zone right here. It's perfectly fine. We're gonna look for that wick rejection and continuation. We got another zone right here as well. All right, this is fine. If price stays below this point, it'll give us enough leeway to look for some entries. So it just needs to stay below this point. All right, if we get a wick rejection off the structure and it's a moderate red candle, we can take this for a sell off the K2SR rejection. We just got to make sure that it doesn't come up and touch opening price, which it just did right here. So no entry. All right, so no entry there. I drew the range over here on the clean chart. As you guys can see, it's still going sideways. So this would have been a possible entry, but it did touch the opening price. So we can't take this here. Possibly on the next candle, we can look for an entry, but not this one right here. I'll follow it, but it's not an entry. It's not even a moderate candle, so it wouldn't be no entry there. So we'll look for this one right here. If this close, or actually we need this to push up a little bit, reject off this structure right here. And then if it pushes it down as a moderate red candle, we can take this for an entry. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, Pat showed that FTMO is showing that the news is actually at 7:03. So it's going to be around that whole area right there at 7 o'clock. We'll just block off that whole area. We won't take any trades for the, 5 minutes before or after, just to make sure. All right, so there's no wick rejection off structure right here off this candle. So even if this closes as a moderate red candle, we cannot take this for an entry because it does not fit the requirements. Unfortunately, just gotta wait for it. It's no entry off that either. So as you guys can see, there could have been some good entries here. This one would have been good. And this one looks like if it rejected off anything, it would have been okay too. Possibly one right here. We have a wick rejection off the structure. We just need this to close as a moderate red candle. If we can do that, we can take this for an entry for a sell. You also got to make sure that it doesn't push too high, because if it pushes too high, then this is here is going to be too big of a candle. All right, so let's follow through. Let's see if it closes as a moderate red candle. This candle here might be too big though. See how far it closes below here. Yeah, this candle here is too big. I'm not going to take it. I'll follow it though. Yeah. So as you guys can see, this candle ended up closing not moderate at all. This is why you want to be very careful and patient when taking trades, because you can see at the very last second, price was way down here. It pushed right back up. And this wick here is bigger than the body. So this is not even a moderate candle. Wouldn't be an entry even if you want it to be. A couple of red flags here. Candle's too big, and also the wick down here is too big as well. So it does not fit the requirements for a K2SR rejection. And good thing we didn't enter, because you'd be in drawdown right now. So just gotta wait. All right, this is fine that price is pushed back up here, because this will set up for a better entry. It's got to be patient. Spread right now is at 180, so it's kind of wide. Typically want it to be around 130, 140, 150, around there. So good thing we didn't take that trade there, because we wouldn't have stopped out. Didn't fit the criteria. Candle was too big. Let's see where this goes now. Got about 40 seconds left on this candle right here. If this closes as a moderate red candle, this would be an entry. It can't have a buy signal on it though, so that's something to keep in mind. No buy signal, and it can't come up and touch the opening price right here. Got about 20 seconds left on this here. Doesn't look like there's going to be an entry off this. No. I mean, technically, this could have been an entry right here. Let's see if I can maybe. No, I'm not going to take it. I'll see if price comes back down. If price does come back down, maybe I'll make a late entry right here. So I'll watch it. Only if it comes back down though. I mean, it's a bit of an iffy candle. The candle right before it, it looks like it could be a somewhat moderate red candle, but the wick on the bottom is kind of wide. Looks like the market's frozen right now. Yeah, it's frozen for me too deep. But I see MT4 here is like barely moving. So I'm still watching it to see if it comes back down for a late entry possibly, but see if I can make it. It's back on right now. So let's see. And spread super wide. No, I'm just gonna wait. This thing's moving a little too crazy right now. So I'm not gonna enter this. Just gonna wait for the next entry. So good thing we didn't enter it, because this thing obviously, there's a lot of things here that kind of set me off. Like I was looking for it to come back down, but when it froze, I was like, no, this doesn't look good. And then also, when it came back on, it just never came back down. So what I was gonna do here is I was gonna wait for it to come back down. I was gonna put a sell stop right there, but I just ended up not taking it at all. So this is a candle I was talking about, this red one. I mean, it looks kind of moderate, but the wick on the bottom is just too, you can't even measure it. It's too small. The body's small as well. So wick on the bottom is about 440 pips. And then the body right here is about 800 to 700 pips. Yeah, so I didn't take that one there. I was tempted though. I'm starting to get FOMO because we've been waiting for this for some time. Let's see. Yeah, C6 said I'm looking to buy some, looking to trap some buys. Yeah, and I agree. So the trend meter here is starting to change from red to blue. With that said, if price does push above here, we can start looking for some buys. As price continues to move up higher. So if price pushes up higher, trend meter here turns green, angle, the pivots here start to angle upwards, then we can possibly start looking for some buys if price starts to reject off this structure right here. But realistically, price is still ranging around this area here. So as I mentioned before, I was looking to not take the first entry, right? I was tempted to take this one. This would have been one of the maybe entries. But there's just a lot of things that happened. Trading view froze. I think MC4 even froze for a little bit. And then it just never came back down to entry point. Yeah, Pat said still sitting at opening price. Yeah, like price literally hasn't gone anywhere. It's still within this area right here. So it's just bouncing back and forth around this area, looking for any possible hints that price will be swinging one way or the other. Because if price does come up, target price point is going to be the sessions right here, right? So there could be multiple entries that can be taken in that direction if there's a confirmation that price is actually going to push. So the thing to look out for would be the trend meter down here. Because the trend meter will give you a hint whether price is going to, go one way or the other. There's actually a high-low entry right here too, if you guys notice that. Little high-low entry. I know some of you guys like taking that strategy. Looks like it already hit too. Yeah, the high-low right there hit like immediately on the next candle. But I'm not looking for those. So I'm only looking for K2SR rejections, and I'm looking for quality ones, not just like, these random ones here that look like they could be good, but they're not necessarily good. All right, so back to the clean chart over here. You can see that the range still hasn't been broken. I drew this range a while back, and it's still within the area here. It's right back at opening price. No clear direction here at all. Price just keeps bouncing back and forth. So it looks like price is looking to consolidate around here until like the trend meter here starts to change. If price stays around this area, then the pivots are going to get closer and they're going to start to shift. So if the pivot shift up and the trend meter over here also turns green, then we'll be looking for this to possibly reverse. But I mean, looking over here real quick, we got news coming up at 7. You want to be careful for that. Sentiment here hasn't really changed very much. Yeah, this hasn't changed at all. So it doesn't look like many retail traders are really, playing in the market. That's why the volatility is so low. Everyone's kind of just sitting out, waiting for the market to show what's going to happen next. So no real movement here with regard to retail traders. Looking over here at the fundamentals are still very red. Heat map is pretty much all red here as well. Yeah, no stocks have recovered yet. Still all red stocks here within US30. There we go. As price starts to drop back down, price stays below here. We'll look for a wick rejection. We need a sell signal though. So in order for us to take anything here, we need a sell signal to actually close. So let's see where it goes from here. Spread is currently 170. Spread's getting a little tighter, so it's looking good. There's another zone down here that's starting to produce as well. So we got some. Well, we do have the news coming up here at 7. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, Pat said we're in a 10-minute no trade news zone. Exactly. So we're just gonna have to wait, guys, because the news happens right here at 7. Or I mean, FTMO, or was it FTMO showed that it was at 7:03, and then my FX book showed that it was at 7. So we're just gonna have to sit tight for a bit. It wouldn't really matter because there's no entries for us to take anyways. Yeah, and Patrick said, and of course the pivot scalp hits. Yeah, right here. Drop nicely. I still think the overall direction is going to be a sell. Obviously, you know, these buys here are just going to be temporary. They're just trapping more buyers in to get more people to buy the dip. Because the thing is, I mean, a lot of you guys are like taught to think that price has to correct, right? Like, especially with a big drop like this. I would expect a correction if this here was like 60% short, right? If everyone chased that sell and it was 60% short, then yeah, definitely I would take the buy. But right here, it shows that it's 51% long. It's pretty neutral. So with that said, I think price will just continue to drop even further because you're trying to lure in some more buyers. I mean, right now, obviously, there's not enough. Yeah, C6 said 100% market makers know this is the sweet psychological point. Yeah, because a lot of people are just, they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going on, what's going to happen next, etc. So they're basically just screwing with them, you know? So yeah, it's just going to be a matter of time until it chooses its direction. But going back to the clean chart over here, you guys can see, so you can't really see it that well here on the markups. But on the clean chart, I've had the zone drawn up for the past, let's see, when did it start? So it's been ranging for about 1 hour and 3 minutes. You can't really see this very much unless you actually draw it up like how we did. So you can see here it is ranging, but you can't really see the picture as clear as right here. And as you can see, the range is actually getting tighter. So we have another zone right there, another one right there. It just gets tighter. So we have bigger zone and smaller zone within it. And that's fine because if price starts to squeeze, then we can start looking for, you know, possible entries for a breakout. This candle right here would technically be an entry, but it's too big of a candle. You can see this candle here is way too big. If it retraces up even halfway, it can stop you out before it actually hits. So. But we do have the wick projection here, sell momentum, trend meters red, pivots are angling down. Everything points towards a sell. However, this candle here is just way too big. So probably not one I'd take, it's too risky. But it looks like it'll probably hit TP, and it did. So full TP right there. Oh, man, and there's news right here too. So too many red flags, news, candle's too big, but the criteria is met. All right, so we'll keep watching for any possible entries, but there's nothing that we can really take right now because it's right at news price, which will be here at 7 o'clock. I was hoping the volatility would be in our favor today, but it's kind of flat because that big drop happened for the inflation news. If that big drop didn't happen, that would have been cool, but it pushed down like way too far. Looks like the news here is pretty neutral. So let me go over here and draw on color that pink. 7 o'clock. US news. Neutral. I wasn't expecting it to be very much anyways. Every time this happens every month, it's pretty much neutral. It doesn't really. It says IBD TIPP economic optimism. I mean, I don't know how optimistic you can get, right? When the inflation news just came out. So I'm not expecting it to really be positive or anything like that. It says neutral, but not necessarily. All right, so price is dropping further right here. I'm gonna put this at 705 so that we know where we can start looking for trades again. All right, but price is pushing away from this area right here. So all right, so price is right here. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit so that we don't have to get caught up in that huge candle right there. All right, so price is coming back down further. Let's check the sentiment to see if people are chasing. Are people chasing it? No, surprisingly, retail traders are not even chasing it. So let me refresh this. Yeah, it's accurate right now, 51% long. So it doesn't look like there's any retail traders really chasing or falling for any of these traps, which is surprising because you'd expect a lot of people to bandwagon onto those sells. And Goldie said they're getting smarter. Or people are sharing what we're covering on these live sessions. We might have to like just keep these live sessions to private. The public YouTube, maybe we'll share like a couple live sessions a week. But we'll probably just keep these private. I feel like a lot of people know what we're like. Yeah, Maddie said no more YouTube. Yeah, we'll probably have to shut it down at some point. I mean, we've been talking about shutting it down. I just feel bad because I want other people to have the ability to trade with us, especially the people who can't afford like the subscriptions. But it seems like a lot of people are starting to follow exactly what we're doing. Because I don't know anybody else who trades with sentiment. Like I don't know anyone else that knows how to read sentiment like I do. I've seen other people use sentiment, but they don't use it the same way I do. Like they don't trade opposite. They typically trade with the sentiment. So yeah, Goldie said not too many people that give a fuck like you, Sean. Yeah, no, exactly. And I agree with you too, Patricia. So we're probably going to cut off the YouTube for a while. I mean, the YouTube, like we'll do like maybe one free session a week. We'll do like one session that will be live. The sessions will still be recorded so that you guys can watch them later, but they're not going to be live because, everyone here is kind of paying for the live session or they're using the strategies and whatnot, which makes sense. So once I'm done with the whole rebranding process, we'll probably just lock in the we'll close out the public YouTube. Because I feel like a lot of people are taking my analysis here and they're using it for their own advantage. So we'll see. And this market kind of sucks. I'm waiting for it to do something. But we got to yeah, no, I agree. Joshua said YouTube viewers can learn using the mentoring sessions. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Joshua. I mean, you could whoever's on the YouTube, you guys could blame like that one person that keeps disliking all the videos. There's like one person that dislikes the videos every day, and we kind of have an idea who it is. It's like, bro, it's the same guy. It doesn't matter. We win every day, and we still get one dislike on the videos. Yeah, it might be Pikachu's brother. Yeah, no. Yeah, so these live sessions will probably be private. The mentoring sessions will still be public though. So I think that's fine. So that other people can still learn. Because that's my main goal, right? My main goal is to teach you guys how to trade and make sure that you guys understand everything. These live sessions, though, obviously, people want to take advantage of it. Jonathan said Pikachu's back. No. Maybe. I don't know. He's probably lurking. All right. So price is now reached the 5-minute mark. All right. So we can start looking for some more entries here, guys. What I'm looking for now at this point is I'm looking for price to retrace up a bit. Come to this point, provide a wick rejection off this structure, and then continuation down further. That's basically what I'm looking for right here. I am looking for this to play out so that we can look for a K2SR rejection. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that price is a bit overextended. So if we measure from this high right here, and measure down here, price is pushed down about 2,240 pips without any retracement. So we need to get that retracement before we can start looking for entries, because this right here is just not going to fly, right? If you guys saw this earlier, I'm not sure if anyone caught this high-low entry, but there was a high-low scalp that came up right here. I know some of you guys still trade this right there. Price broke and closed below it, and it would have been a full TP. I know it was the news candle, but I know some of you guys still take the trade even though. So I wouldn't have taken it, but I just want to show you guys here that there was a high-low scalp that did come up. All right, so we got that marked up there. Let's see what we got next. All right, so I'm gonna go and take off the zone over here. I mean, price is still within the zone, but I guess I could leave it up for now. So I'll leave it up for a little bit to just identify if price is going to cut back into the zone over here. Goldie is asking, is the high-low scalp based on price breaking structure? Yes, that's correct. So it's called the high-low scalp, Goldie. So like basically you have the high lows right here when price breaks and closes past it. So there was a low right here. I already had it marked up earlier actually on this clean chart. There was a low right here. This candle over here broke and closed below it, and it's a continuation in the direction of momentum. So we had a sell momentum over here, right? With the momentum indicator. We had a sell momentum, price broke and closed past the structure right here, which is the low, and then it just continued dropping lower. So yeah, you have an idea of like how it's applied. It's not too difficult. It's just basically we have these high lows here. Once they're broken and closed past, it lines up. But this is even better. So we had that high low drawn up there, but I also had this range drawn up. So it was kind of a double whammy, right? You had a confirmation that price was breaking and closing past structure. That's what you were looking at. But the shorter version of it is just this low being broken and closed past as well. You can see there's another one right here. So again, right here, there's a low. And you can see how this candle right here broke and closed past it, right? It's not necessarily structure, but or a strong structure. But if you were to take a high-low scalp right there as well, this again would be another full TP. So it's a very simple strategy. We use this a lot during, directional conditions because a lot of these high lows will continue to be broken, but we haven't been getting that lately because we're in the summer season. So as we exit the summer season, hopefully we'll be able to apply the strategy a lot more fluently because it's going to be very easy to catch these breaks and close past structure. So with this right here done, I'm going to go ahead and draw a new range below here. So as you can see, market structure changes all the time. It goes from directional, whether it be up or down, and then it just goes back into another range. It was ranging up here, now it's ranging down here. Goldie's asking, so it's suited to trending market. Yeah, exactly. So any type of directional market, pretty much all the K2 strategies work perfect because they're all directional strategies, right? They're all based off the trend. They're based off momentum. For this K2SR rejection strategy, the one we've been applying, for this one, this is good during ranging market conditions. So price has been ranging for summer, and that's why we've been using it. And it's been working perfect. Very little to no losses. You just got to change with the seasons. But I think this strategy here, the K2SR rejection, it works all year round because the price always goes into a range at some point. It's actually ranging more than it's directional. So you can apply this K2SR pretty much all year round. Yeah, no, exactly. Goldie said I returned at the right time. Yeah, no, we're exiting the summer season right now. So as we get into the fall and market starts to pick up, we can start applying pretty much everything, the variations, the high-low scalps, pivot scalps, etc. The first official day of fall, I think, is September 22nd. So probably by next week, it'll pick back up. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said K2SR might even work better during the winter. I agree, because the market's going to be pretty slow. Seth said 53% long. They're taking out those buyers. Yeah, no, definitely. So looking over here at the sentiment, you guys can see that a lot of these retail traders are starting to buy. So it's now 53% long. This indicates that 53% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we typically want to do the opposite. It's not very much, but it still shows you that retail traders are starting to try and buy the dip. So just like what Seth said, they're going to be wiping out those buyers as price continues to move along. All right, so with price ranging right here, not really much going on. Here's a clean chart. You guys can see nothing's really going on here. It's just ranging sideways. Here's a markup chart. Again, right here as well, nothing really going on here too much. There's a pivot scalp that might be coming up right here. Not one that I would necessarily take, but possible high, low, below there. If this closes as a high, low, I'll possibly take that maybe, but I'd make sure the candle's not too big. We do need a sell signal though. Yeah, Goldie said this is how I lost a bunch of money is by trying to buy the high low or chasing the falling knife. Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to do that because that's what everybody else is doing. You want to do the opposite. So you're basically outsmarting the retail trader, Goldie. Well, that's what we're doing. Whenever we see what retail traders are doing, if they're buying, we're going to do the opposite and sell, right? Because we don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Typically, majority of people do lose at trading because they act like sheep, right? They see price move and they chase it, and then everyone else chases it. You know, we wait for that move to confirm, and then it goes the opposite typically. Because I'm sure it's happened to you a lot, Goldie, where you take a trade and it looks like a good trade and it just hits your stop loss immediately. Market makers playing games. Exactly. Maddie said this might give it triple confluence. If we get a triple confluence on here, I'll probably take it. So that's one of the very few trades that I'll actually take. If it closes, it breaks and closes below here with a sell signal. So it's trying to, but it's not having the best time. Here, the number increased again. It went from 53% to 54. So as you guys can see, a lot of retail traders are starting to trace this move here. It's now 54%. All right, so this broke and it broke below it. We got to wait for it to close. Got about 30 seconds left. Goldie said a lot of these courses teach you to be food for the market makers. LOL. I know exactly. Everyone teaches the same way. If you guys have seen it, everyone teaches supply and demand is pretty solid if you know how to trade it. But it's not really that easy to teach or to learn because it's very subjective. But a lot of people trade not supply and demand. They trade support and resistance. They trade stuff that we don't trade, right? But if you guys have ever taken a trading course before, they teach you the basics like support and resistance, engulfing candles, stuff like that. And a lot of the times it doesn't work. It'll work sometimes, but most of the time it won't work. All right, so look with this right here, guys, this low's been broken, so it cannot be a high-low scalp anymore, which is fine. I'm okay with price pushing up right here, luring in some more buyers, price rejecting off this point, and possibly dumping from there. So Dijon said, yeah, the engulf candle shit will have you blowing your account. I know, right? Exactly. Yeah, no, and they do, Maddie. And I agree. I just saw your message. Maddie said it's probably market makers that own a lot of these courses. Yeah, a lot of the big courses. So if you guys have seen, like, I'm trying to think of a website like Investopedia. If you guys have ever been on Investopedia, if you look at the big name courses that teach people how to trade, they teach the same strategies that everybody else uses, right? They teach you the very, very basics. And, you know, the market makers make money off this because they know what you guys are learning. So that's why we try to keep K2 close knit, because the way that we trade, not very many people trade this way. A lot of people don't even like to scalp, right? Because they don't know how to do it properly. So the thing that, so my logic behind scalping is that I only want to trade for like an hour a day. I don't want to be on the charts all day. If you guys are swing trading or intraday trading, you guys will find yourself on the charts for like 8 hours a day, and it's not good for your health. I mean, yeah, you could probably make some more profit taking those bigger moves, but you could also lose a lot more profit too. So, you know, the way that we trade here, on our live sessions are very specific. Like I don't think there's anyone else that trades like us. Like a lot of people have told me, or a lot of people who leave groups and come to K2, whenever they see us trade, they're like, damn, I've never seen anybody trade like this, where they trade on the 1 minute and they're able to pretty much identify where everything happens. So yeah, Seth said shut off the YouTube then, Sean. No, it's going to. I think tomorrow we'll stop posting it. We'll probably share like maybe one live session a week, maybe a midweek one, and then we'll just shut it off. I mean, it'll still be on there. You guys can watch it after the live session is done, but it won't be a live stream. Yeah, Goldie said wealth includes time freedom. If you're on the charts for hours, you don't own your time. Yeah, and I exactly agree, Goldie. That's why for me, I trade with you guys from like 6:30 to 8, and then from 8 to 10, I like walk my dogs, and then from 10 to 12, I go to the gym, and then I have the whole day open for me. I don't have anything to do. I don't have anything really that I'm required to do from like 12 until bedtime, right? Aside from the mentoring sessions, like today we're going to have the mentoring session at 2 p.m. So just a reminder, guys, I don't necessarily have to hold those mentoring sessions, but I hold them for you guys so that you guys can clear up any confusion for the week. So, I mean, mentoring sessions aren't necessarily required for me. I can just put them off if I needed to, but I do hold them for you guys. So yeah, I mean, that's my schedule, guys. I don't really do much. Same routine every day. Get up at 6, hop out of bed, get on these charts, trade with you guys from 6:30 to 8, and then I'm pretty much free for the rest of the day. And I'm sure that's a lifestyle a lot of you guys would like as well. And you guys have seen my profits, so it's live trading every day does pay out very well if you do it properly. There's still nothing going on right now, guys. Price is literally just ranging right here. So here's a clean chart that I marked up a few minutes ago. Price has been ranging for the past 18 minutes now. This is a clean chart, bare minimum on the chart, not really much going on, just going sideways right here. Here's our chart markup. Let's see if price pushes up right here. This is fine. We actually want this to happen because I want price to come up and reject off the structure right here. Once it rejects off the structure, we can start looking for an entry in this direction. Let's see, I don't really see anything else here. There's no zones here. I was looking to see if there's any snipes for us to possibly take a look at, but there's no zones down here yet on the 10-minute. Yeah, Maddie said fake out up top. So here we go. Price pushes up higher. This is fine. I want price come up and reject off the structure here, so we can take a sell. Let's see. All right, so we got a double top right here. Double wick rejection right here, Maddie. I don't know if this fits your continuation strategy. Actually, there can be a buy signal there, though. Never mind. It's broke past it. All right, so there goes our wick rejection right there. If this closes with a sell signal and a moderate red candle, we can take this for a sell. It doesn't look like it's going to, but we'll see. Gotcha, man. Let's use the bodies for those continuations. Okay, no, that makes sense. I'd prefer to use that too. All right, let's take a look at sentiment. So sentiment here is increasing. Sentiment is now 55% long. So as you guys can see, it was at 53%, 54. It's now at 55. So what does that tell you? And you can see right here, it dropped, right? And it's moving from 54 and 55. This is showing you that retail traders are starting to hop into these buys. Some people are getting scared or they're getting stopped out. Looks like they got stopped out actually. So whoever entered a buy right here, they probably had a tight stop loss because this was 55 and you can see it's changing 55 to 54. When it changes to 54, that means that people are pulling out or they're getting stopped out. So my guess is that a lot of people are entering this with a tight stop loss or with a trailing stop, right? That's typically what people are using. They're using a trailing stop here so that when it pushes up, it stops them out. You can see right there again, it changed back to 54. Yeah, there goes your body itch right there, Maddie. I was looking for that, but I missed it. Yeah, that V1 body there hit pretty nice. So if you guys are familiar with the variation strategy, there's a double body right here, pending sell momentum, and it came out perfect. As I mentioned, I'm not applying those strategies right now, but if you guys did take it, that would have been one right there. V1 body. Just something to keep in mind is that the spread is very wide right now. It's at 190. So if you guys are taking these trades, you got to keep an eye on it, because if it does hit your TP, you got to pull out. The spread right now is just a little too wide, so you can get caught in these entries. All right, so you can see the number here drop down, went from 55 to 54. What do you guys think happened? People got stopped out, right? Goldie says, Sean, on the next mentoring session, can you teach the V1? Yeah, I could teach the V1, but just keep in mind that we're not applying them right now. But I will show you guys in the mentoring session later today at 2 p.m. Rick said, I think it's time to look at more than your zones. Market is changing. What else would we look at, Rick? I'm just trying to get an idea of like what you're referring to, because I think the zones work perfectly fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. We're only applying. Well, the market hasn't changed yet, Rick. If you look at the market, it's still ranging. So this is a huge consolidation area right here. Those variations work well during directional markets. So if you look over here, this is a 10-minute, or I mean, it's better to see here on the one. Market is not moving directional at all, right? It's still within the same range that we drew here. Variations work well when market is ranging, right? When market is moving directional. So let me show you, for example, here. I think you're just getting excited because you think these variations are coming up, but they're not really coming up like that. When it's moving directional like this and price pushes up, it's easy to just catch a trade this way, right? That's why I'm talking about directional markets, because price will come up, you'll get a variation during this phase right here, and you just write it back down. If price is going sideways, you don't have enough space to take any variations, right? Because price will just go back and forth within this area here, and it's easy for you to get faked out. So you can't take any directional trades because it's just going back and forth like this. If that makes sense, Rick. We're still in the summer season. You know, if you Google fall, so let's see, when does fall start? It's not even fall yet. It's September 22nd. So if you look for when fall starts, it hasn't even started yet. We're still in the summer season. So the market isn't really changing at all. I think you're kind of tricking yourself to think that the market's changing, but realistically, it hasn't changed at all. You can see right here from this markup, or I mean, I can just show you right here, like this is a range consolidation. This is a range and consolidation. This is a huge range and consolidation right here. So market is not changing at all. It's just, you had this big drop right here. So you think market is changing because you think price is continuing to drop, but realistically, it drops a little bit, drops a little further, and back into consolidation right there. So, I mean, you can look at it if you want, Rick, but if you blow your account, I can't take any responsibility for that, right? You know, I've been trading for a long time, so I know how these markets do change. But for me personally, it's not changing at all. So you guys, again, you guys are welcome to apply whatever strategies you guys want, whether you want to apply variation, pivot scalps, high-low scalps, whatever. But from my experience, market's not ready for that yet. Once it starts to move more directional, and I'll show you like a actual directional market. So if we go over here, here's a clean chart. So let's just go back to like before summer, right? So this is you guys can kind of see how price is kind of just going sideways right here. This is like pretty much the entire summer season. August right here, price is just going sideways. There's like random spikes here where like there's news events and stuff why price drops. But realistically, price is just going sideways. If you go back farther to like May, and this is the 10-minute, so you're not going to see very much here, but you can see how it is ranging a lot. if you go back to like earlier in the year, so let's start from July. I mean, not July, June. Sorry, not June, January. Okay, so going over here until like May, so you guys can see that market moves way more directional right here, right? It doesn't consolidate very much. It goes up for a long time. It goes down for a long time. Even right here, you guys can see from like March or from the entire month of May, price literally just goes down the entire time. Obviously, you're gonna get some consolidation right here, but for the most part, market is moving directional versus to how it's moving now. So I'm just trying to show you guys that, like, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to trade however you guys like, but you guys have to understand when you lose a trade, you got to be mad at yourself because you guys have the heads up that I already told you guys the price is like probably not going to continue moving, directional. And if you guys have traded throughout the season, or if you guys have traded for years, you guys already know that this is normal. It's just the past couple of years have been different because we've been in COVID. Even earlier this year, we had the Ukraine war that kind of moved a little crazy. But for the most part, a lot of these variations don't really come up. So there's one variation right here. Like, I mean, one variation happened and it played out fine. But where's the next variation, right? Trying to see if there's anything else here. Because if you look back, so just go back to, and Rick, you can do this as well. If you want to look back, just look back to any of these previous pullbacks. There's no variations. There's just one variation here for the entire morning session. Typically during, faster seasons, you'll have like 3 or 5 variations back to back. So this retracement right here, no variation. This retracement, no variation. This retracement, no variation. So for the past hour, there's been no variation, just one variation that came up. So it's not as common as you might think, at least not yet. So going back over here, I'm still sticking to the SR, guys, regardless as to whatever the market changes for the next couple of weeks or so. I'm going to stick to the SR rejections. Once the market starts to confirm that it's actually moving directional, probably like into October, I'll start looking for variations, or I'll look for pivot scalps or high-low scalps. Even a high-low scalp, I won't take on its own. If it's a triple confluence, I'll take that because that's a high probability trade. But for just a regular high-low scalp, I probably would not take it unless it's like, it looks really good and it's like almost guaranteed to hit. So other than that, let's see, it's 6:30 right now. There's not really much else going on. Just waiting for something to happen here. So price is back into the range. This was just a fake out. So price came up right here, faked out right here, then it came right back into the range. So it was ranging, faked out, came back down, back to the same range that it's been in for, some time now. And guys, just keep in mind, so like, I was just talking to Maddie about this too, or like a couple other people. Like, it's easy to get funded. Anybody could get funded trading, right? It's about staying consistent and actually staying funded and getting actual payout. That's the key thing. So I know you see a lot of people here in K2 that get funded like every week, right? The thing is, like, the real truth is that a lot of people who get funded don't stay funded. They'll get funded and they'll start to do their own thing, and then they blow the account the next day. Steven is like one of the prime examples. Steven was following us, or following me, for like 3 months, and he had 0 losses. As soon as he passed his account, he did his own thing. He started trading in Asia session, and he blew his account like within hours. So, and Steven's been here for a long time, trying to, struggle his way through. If you guys just stay consistent to what you did when you got funded, then you should be perfectly fine. But just make sure that you stick to the same game plan and you don't change things up. Let's see, Mauricio said Asia dropped 7K last night. For US30, Mauricio. Sorry, I didn't trying to figure out what you mean by that. Was it a different asset, like the NSA? Oh, he lost 7K. Yeah, no, Asia is, oh yeah, okay, so Mauricio said, yeah, I was bored, so I traded US30 and lost 7K. Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Like, I've tried to trade US30 in Asia session as well. The spread's way too wide. Yeah, like Mauricio just said, the spread's like 280 sometimes, like 280, 260. It's crazy. Like you can't even go for half the profit because it eats up most of your movement. So that's why I don't recommend you guys trade US30 during Asia. I know I do trade it sometimes, but I only take it if the entries look like perfect. But I don't necessarily trade outside of the live sessions. Sometimes in the morning I will, but not very much. I mean, it just happens sometimes if I like feel the itch to trade and I need to lock in some profits. Like if I get close to my payout date, then yeah, maybe I'll risk a little more because payout date's coming up. And I just want to lock in a little more, especially if I don't like meet my criteria for like what I'm aiming for. Mauricio said he should have went to the casino. I mean, you probably had a better luck there playing roulette, bet everything on black, right? Then it hits green. And I hate that. I hate that when the roulette table hits green. It's like, man, what are the odds? I think what is it, like 1 in 50? Well, I mean, some tables have like 2 greens, but all right. So price is now dropping back lower. There's not really much going on here. The zones are still up here. Still looking for an entry, but it doesn't look like we're going to get one anytime soon. We still have 30 minutes in the market. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I just don't want to go over anything too specific. Like if you guys want me to go over a specific strategy, we'll hold that for the mentoring session. But if you have anything that you want me to cover right now, I could help you guys out with that. Yeah, there's a high-low scalp right here. I think that Patrick identified. However, this candle is too big. Yeah, the candle is just way too big. So it'll probably retrace up a little bit. The problem with this is that it can retrace up to the halfway mark right here or the full candle. So this high-low scalp would not work out. Yeah, exactly. Patrick said huge candle though. I agree. So as you guys can see, whenever you guys have a big candle like this, price will typically retrace to either halfway or the full candle. And then once it reaches this point, it'll either correct back down or it'll do a full-on reversal. So that's why one of the main red flags that we look out for is going to be the candle prior to entry is too large. So these are all in order of importance: sessions, opening price, news price, candles too big. The reason why this is lower on the list is because you can do something like this. You can wait for it to come back down. So you can wait for the retracement, and then if it comes back down, you can make a late entry down here. Not one that I would take, but if you really, really, really want to take a trade, you could have waited for it to come back down. So I'm not going to take this position. I'm going to try my hardest to stay disciplined and not FOMO into these trades. And a lot of these trades they're tempting because we've been waiting for so long, but we haven't had any official entry just yet. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. But yeah, price is coming down here. So if you wanted to make a late entry, this would be your entry point at this time. And it looks like it may be pushing down. So full TP. So as you guys can see, my analysis still plays out fine. Like if you really wanted to enter this trade, just like I mentioned, you could have waited for it to pull back, entered late right here for a sell stop. As soon as it dropped down, full TP. So you guys could have taken that if it fits your criteria, but for me, it's just too risky of a move, especially with the spread so wide. I'm not trying to get caught. Yeah, Maddie said there's another continuation right there as well that he's looking at. So the continuation that Maddie's looking at was right here. Looks like it hit CP already too. The spread's just too wide. I would hate to get caught in a position like that. Spread too wide. I mean, if anything, if this becomes a norm and the spread's too wide, we'll just go for bigger moves because the criteria is just, it looks like it could be a good trade, but with the spread so wide, it makes it impossible for you guys to really take to take any profit, because it takes forever for you to actually make any profit. You got to actually push down quite a bit before it makes any profit. Let's see. So let me look over here real quick. Let me just delete this. Look over here real quick to see what sentiment's looking like. Sentiment is still pretty high. So I do think price is going to continue dropping. It's currently 55% long right now. So with that said, I do think price is going to continue dropping at some point. The only problem here is that the fundamentals are so far down. They're down like 800 points. So they can only drop so much until they turn on the circuit breakers that we were discussing earlier. Which is a good chance, because if price continues to drop lower, I mean, if you look over here at the heat map, it's entirely red. To see a red, there's no green stocks right now. So it is a bit of a messy situation at the moment. Is there a position open? I don't remember opening anything. That's weird. I guess something here was open, but I just made like 300 bucks. What did I click on? I'm trying to figure out, because I was clicking on my MC4 and then I was clicking on the side where the trades were, the trade tab, and it closed the trade. I don't know what I took. I don't know, whatever. I made 300 bucks on it. I think I might have accidentally clicked something earlier when I was looking for these. I think for that high low, because I was showing you guys the example and I might have clicked around a little bit. It took a small position, or it took a normal position, and it just came down, but there was no TP set. So when I clicked on the trade over here, it just closed me out. I made 300 bucks on that. Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's all good. I mean, good thing I made profit on it. Could have been bad. Let's see. Let's see. Ruin said, made good money, not going to FOMO. Thanks, Sean. See you tomorrow. Definitely, Ruin. So we'll see you tomorrow as well. Peter said, LOL, Sean's making money without even knowing it. Oh, well, good thing I pulled out in profit, because I didn't even know I was in a position. That seems to happen to me a lot. I need to get like a toolbar. I've seen some of you guys have that toolbar on MC4 where it has like big neon colors where it tells you when you're in a position. I think I'm gonna have to download that, because I can't really tell sometimes unless I'm on the trade tab if I'm in a position. Let's see, question from David. David's asking, hi, Sean. I moved to Honolulu 2 weeks ago from the East Coast. Can't make the mentoring session today, but I will reach out for a one-on-one to refresh myself on the strategies. The time zone difference is getting hard. It's hard getting used to for catching NY on US30. Yeah, no, I agree, David. I mean, it was actually not too bad for me. I was on vacation in Honolulu for about a week or two, like a couple months or last month. I know you got to wake up like at 2 a.m. I woke up at 2 a.m. though, and it was perfect. It was actually not that bad. I liked it a little more because I woke up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I traded, and then I had the whole day ahead of me. Maybe it's because I was on vacation, so it's different. You know, you're living there. You can't, it's hard to make it your normal waking up time. But for me, it was great because I woke up at 2 a.m. I traded with you guys. I made probably the most profit I made in a while during the summer while in Hawaii. And then I just went on, you know, I was doing stuff after because I was on vacation. So yeah, I know it's difficult, but it is definitely doable if you really want to make it work. I know it's hard though. But yeah, so yeah, just let me know, David, if you want to catch up on stuff. And we'll, or if you have any questions, David, you can always just give me questions and then I can go over it during the mentoring session. So if you have any questions in your mind already, just send me the questions on Telegram and then I'll answer them at the very beginning of the mentoring session so that you don't have to watch the whole mentoring session to get your questions answered. Whatever works for you, honestly, just let me know. You know, I'll make it as accessible to you as it is for everybody else. All right. So May City's out in profit. Nice. All right, so let me just clean this up right here. It looks like the volatility is pretty much dead again. It's 7:40 right now, so we got about 20 minutes till 8. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, We'll keep looking for any possible entries here, but I'm not sure if we're going to get anything from now until market close. It's because of this big candle right here. If this big candle didn't happen, then all the zones wouldn't be up there. They'd be down here already, but it is what it is. Just got to deal with it for now. But there are no zones down here. There's still a couple of zones up here, so we need these over here to disappear so that we can get more zones down here. It's just a matter of time until it, continues to confirm and consolidate. Let's see, we have a couple of profits here posted by some of our members. So we got Kenny over here locked on a total profit of 52 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Seth over here currently have 11,000 on this account. Took another trade over here. He's up 27,000 for the day. Nice work, Seth. Caught the drop. Scotty over here as well. Currently up 905 for the day. Great work, Scotty. Dell over here currently up 673 for the day. Nice work, Dell. So a lot of you guys took trades off my analysis, which is great. I haven't taken any official trades for the day. So if you guys haven't taken anything, you guys are not missing out on anything right now because I haven't taken anything myself. Al over here as well, currently at 4,543 for the day. Nice work, Al. Rick over here currently up 3,615. Nice work, Rick. I mean, if that's the case, you should probably hang on to your profits, Rick, because the market is moving kind of crazy right now. I know you're looking for, you're back to news price, you're back to open price, but I don't expect that to push up, especially with the sentiment here going up so high. All right, let's see. Stock sell-off deepens. Dow drops 800 points following hot inflation report. So we might see a pullback at some point right here. Going down a little further, Mace said took it to the K2SR level on the 1 hour as mentioned. Yes, okay. So Mace actually took it down, locked in a total profit of 130,000 for the day. That's crazy. That's pretty insane. But yeah, no, definitely nice work right there, Mace. Goldie over here as well. See a quick thing, locked in a total profit of 246 for the day. Great work, Goldie. Nice for your second day back. Scotty over here currently up 2,095 for the day. Nice work, Scotty. Rick over here now currently up. Said quick update. He's now up 4,089. So good decision on not taking the buy, Rick, because it could have ended pretty badly with price pushing so far down. Good thing that you chased the sell a little further and played out nice. So great work, Rick. Just got to stay consistent. Brock over here as well. So Brock said, hey, Sean, I did a good gain today, needed 2%, and short 0.5%, which he's hopeful to land on the live. Brock over here currently up 1,572 for the day. Nice work, Brock. All right, guys, solid. So you guys are doing pretty good so far. Valentine over here as well. Valentine's currently up. Let that load. Kenny over here sent me a video. He said Twitter whistleblower testifies in the Senate. Thanks, Kenny, for this. I didn't even realize that you sent this over. So Kenny actually sent this over about an hour ago. Looks like the Twitter whistleblower is now testifying in court. Kenny over here at 52. Nice work, Kenny. Trying to load this right here, Valentine's. Let's close this out, reopen it. Valentine over here still hasn't loaded. Anyways, I'll let it load up and then I'll come back to it. Yeah, Joshua said YouTube viewers can learn using the mentoring sessions that will entice them to join, or at least learn enough so they can afford K2. No, and I agree with you, Joshua. There's actually somebody who left a review. I'm not sure who Cliff is, but Cliff left a review on Trustpilot. Yeah, Cliff's right here on the YouTube. So this is like one of the reasons why I like to keep the YouTube up, because of people like Cliff. So Cliff over here mentioned, where was it? His review just came up, I think, kind of recently. I don't know why these reviews here come up not in order. I don't know. If I find it, I'll show you guys. But again, there's still no entries for us to take. You know, at the moment, it's still kind of going pretty slow. Um, all right. See if there's anything else here for me to look at. So I'm just looking at like the stuff on CNBC right now on my other screen. I was trying to read this to see if there's anything else for us to look at, but not really much. Because the thing with price is that it's like down here and it's kind of just fading out. We might get a fake out to the upside and then it'll probably continue dropping. Because they're indicating a sell. The thing is, I don't want to do the opposite buy. So I'd probably just wait for it to swing up and then come back down. But yeah, the market is dropping pretty heavily today. See if there's anything else here. So let's see. Patrick said sitting right in the middle of the 1 hour SR zone. Seth said, I'm out, guys. I feel like any other trade, and it's going to be a FOMO trade. Take care, all. Definitely, Seth. We'll see you tomorrow. Marco said, have a trade blocker here at home. That's been a little fussy this morning. Yeah, Marco's a little baby. Good thing the market's not really giving much, though, Marco. So you're good. I know you got to take care of your baby today, so. Unfortunately, but fortunately, the market is not necessarily moving too crazy right now. See if there's anything else here. So I don't really see anything happening here from now until 8, guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Looks like a lot of you guys here are already signing off because you guys don't expect anything to happen. I mean, I don't expect anything to happen either. But if you guys do have any questions, I'm available to answer whatever questions you guys have. Just a reminder, we will be having our mentoring session later today at 2 p.m. So if you guys don't have questions now, feel free to bring your questions to the mentoring session later. All right, Rick, we'll see you tomorrow or later on today if you're on the mentoring session. Mauricio said, made my 5K back from the 7K loss last night. Thanks, Sean. I'm out. Going to reserve my spot at the casino for tonight. Right, definitely, Mauricio. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Marco said, yeah, always tomorrow, no sweat. Poker profits, so I can post up. Nice, Marco. Yeah, hopefully you got a... Now that you talk about poker, I kind of want to get into poker too. I'm gonna start playing online poker. Marco's making a killing from poker, making a killing from trading. Seems fun. I have a reason to go to Vegas. Yeah, Maddie said full TP on his continuation. So if you guys are looking at Maddie's continuation strategy right here, there's a double body that came up, I think right there, or right here actually. And it played out perfect. Yeah, I see right there, Maddie. Solid. Yeah, there was one right there and another one right here. So 2 back-to-back continuation entries that Maddie took or could have taken. Looks good. All right, Mace, we'll see you tomorrow as well. Let's see. Yeah, Maddie said another continuation right now. Price is overextended. I agree. So in order to identify if price is overextended, guys, you guys just have to pull up the measuring tool, basically price range. Go from where price started, right? So price started right here. The reason why we know this is because price dropped, consolidated, retraced, and then it dumped from here without any other retracement. So from this point right here to this point right here, Prices dropped 2,000 pips. With that said, this is obviously overextended. Anything over 1,500 pips is considered overextended because it has to retrace at some point, right? So with that said, price is way overextended. It's due for retracement. Once it retraces up, then it starts another cycle. So other than that, I don't think I really see anything else at the moment. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. It is 7:51 right now. Price is way down here. It's too far from these zones over here, so we're not going to get a huge retracement in the next 9 minutes for us to take a sell at this point, right? If there were zones around this middle area, then yeah, great. But right now, there just isn't anything for us to follow through with. So let's see. I think that's about it. I don't know if there's anything else here for me to look at. There's nothing in the chat. Nothing over here. Nothing on the 5, nothing on the 10. Yeah, there still isn't even any zones here on the 10, so there's no possible confluences here for any snipe entries. So, all right, guys, I think this is going to be it for this session. Unfortunately, there was no official trades for us to take, so it's okay. I mean, it's better than a loss. So for this, we're gonna wrap this up. I'll be back here in about, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, in about 6 hours. So in about 6 hours, I'll be back here on the live for our group mentoring session. So if you guys have any questions or you want me to cover anything in specific, just make sure that you guys attend that session and have your questions ready. If you guys can't attend the session, just send your questions to me through Telegram. I'll save them and they'll be the first questions that I answer during the mentoring session. So you guys don't have to watch the entire mentoring session to get your questions answered. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, Joshua said finally was able to make it the entire morning on the live and no good entries. I know. Market. Maddie over here posted his profits. Currently slightly in the negative. He took one loss there. It's all good. It happens. But he's climbing his way back up. So yeah, not bad, Maddie. I know it was an issue earlier when you were chasing that trade. But it's all good. You'll bounce back from it. At least you're only down 600 now. It takes like one trade for you to bounce right back from it. So one more trade and you'll be back and profit from there. So other than that, guys, I think that might be about it. Unless you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out through email or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I'll be back here in about 6 hours for the group mentoring session. So catch you guys then.